And joining me right now here on the Mark Moses Show is one of my great friends in the industry, one of the fine gentlemen, I like to call him, behind his back. And I like also, I wish every guest would do this, where they have their name on their hat and behind them. So in case you forget who you're talking to, yes, Zazza. I'm talking to Tony Zazza. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Happy birthday, birthday boy. How you doing?
All right, I'm bringing you on because I do this every year on my birthday. And I'm going to say this to you. And I told Tony, are you available to talk to me this certain time? He's like, no problem. Whatever you need.
I'm here.
I appreciate that. I am going to put this on the screen, and then I'm going to talk about you. I would like to induct you into my 2025 Hall of Fame class of the Mark Moses Show.
Yes!
Congratulations, buddy.
That is awesome.
Yes, it is well overdue.
What an honor.
I didn't want to give you the heads up. I think it would ruin it. You need the surprise.
No, I'm glad you didn't. This is totally unexpected. Beyond honored to have even been considered, because I know your career, much like mine, spans decades, and a ton of people. But I got to be honest, coming into it, my mind was going 100 miles an hour. And I'm like, did he arrange like an interview with Luca, and he's going to, have Luca pop on? Is he going to talk to Alexa Bliss and then throw me in the middle of it? I didn't know what to expect. But I know that this is a big honor to be a part of, and just to be considered is like incredible. I did not expect this, and I'm beyond thankful and proud to call you friend in the work you do.
Here's what was great this morning, and thank you for those kind words. So I text you, hey, can you come on? You're like, yeah, no problem. What time? And then you write, what should I wear? And I was like, wear a nice shirt. You're like, you give me that. You look very nice. Well, I want to say this about you. You are one of the hardest working guys I know. I know you have a great family. You love broadcasting with all your heart.
I do.
You love radio. You're okay. What's funny about Tony is you think he's from Dallas originally. No, he spent a long time in Dallas, but you're originally from San Diego. That's the home front. So what's great about Tony is he's like me. At an early age, you're like, I want to get into broadcasting, and you had to move around, and you've lived in different places. You've done a lot of sacrifices, and I really respect that, Tony. I know it hasn't been easy, and you have, and I know you talk for a living. I got to get this off my chest real quick.
You're good. Okay.
You have had to reinvent yourself multiple times, like Madonna, Prince. None of these pop stars have anything on you. Where, okay, I do this show, that ended, now I got to start another show. You understand how to adapt. You're a great teammate and a team player on the air and off the air, and especially your Jingle Jet event is phenomenal. It is. And I love this story the other day you told me. I don't know if you said this on air, where you're like, hey, someone's trying to also do Jingle Jet. You were like, no. I'm Tony Zazza. I do Jingle Jet.
Yeah.
And you've done Jingle Jet on different platforms. You have, and you continue it. And I'm going to say this right now. If you think you are a tough SOB and you think you work hard, watch Tony Zazza go to work 3 days before Jingle Jet.
Oh, man.
The day of Jingle Jet. You don't sleep, do you, when you're doing the event?
No, we really don't. I've got an incredible team. Every year I'm fortunate enough to have friends that I've made over the years that fly in from out of the area on their own dime and come here to help bring it all together. But yeah, those 3 days leading up to it, it's taxing, but it's worth it. And I think last year we went to bed at like 4 a.m. and got up at 5 so that we were ready to roll at 6.
Yeah, you don't kid around. You do your show, and then you help out all those little kids, and you get them in an airplane sometimes, and they're flying in the air, and the best part, there needs to be a documentary 7 hours before Jingle Jet where you're like, hey, Santa might not make it. And you're like, what? And then you're like, do we get enough reindeers? And you're running to the department stores and you're doing all that stuff. And my other thing is, dude, on the air, it's like when you're a DJ, and I know you do stuff like nationally, you do fantastic work, dude. And I'm one of your biggest fans. So congratulations, buddy. I feel like you need more love in the community. So I wanted to do this for you.
Well, I appreciate that. And, being a part of this class and part of the Mark Moses Show Hall of Fame, what an honor. And same goes for you. When I first came here, you were one of the first ones. Here's a guy who's coming from an outside market, doesn't know anything about the area. And you were one of the first people that were like, if you need anything, if you want me to show you around, I'm your guy. So I appreciate that. And it was during a really rough time in my life. And I had no idea that the move here was going to actually turn that around. And I'd find, my husband. And now here we are 5 years later, happily married on a new venture, still doing the broadcast thing. But, it's something, and this, once it's in your blood, and people are like, well, what after radio? And I'm like, nothing, just radio and, the foundation and Jingle Jet and using the platform to change lives. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. You don't have to do Jingle Jet, but you want to.
Right.
That's very key. You want to help people. And I appreciate that. There are many drugs in the world, but I think you understand what I'm about to say. Being on the air is the ultimate drug. And I've said this, I don't care. My life is, when am I back on the air? That's literally, when can I perform again? I love it with all my heart. Do you get that way sometimes, Tony?
Oh, absolutely. And, when we were trying to decide what the next steps were going to be before we launched the Zazza Nation app, a friend of mine in the industry, once we decided the route and what we were going to do, was like, you're your boss. Why did you decide to still start the show at 6 a.m. and not push it to 7? And I'm like, because there are people up at 6 a.m. and they're used to spending that time listening to the show. And I want to be there for those folks. So, we've stuck to it. The good news is I only have to walk 5 feet from my bed to my studio. And sometimes, sometimes it's one of those things. It's a curse, but it's a blessing at the same time.
Do your dogs, do they get to do the show with you?
Oh, yeah, they love it. And they vary. They're in, they're out. Sometimes they'll tap at the door. There's a dog bed right under the console. Some of them lay there. And usually by the end of it, because Connor comes in to play no more than 4 after 7 o'clock. And that's when we get all 4 of them in here. And then it's just complete chaos. But who gets to do this from their home, something that they love? And I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm so lucky.
And the thing for our viewers watching and listening to this, so Tony and I go back and forth with ideas for content. Like we're writing, we're doing jokes all the time. And I get the preview of the relationship drama. Because, being a single bachelor, I'm the best when it comes to being in relationships. So I love all these different like baby mama drama and all this stuff. How do you put those together? Do people email you? What happens?
So I actually thought about you yesterday when we did Fix It or Ditch It, because I was like, Mark would be all over this. And yesterday's was actually, we got an open mic, which is a new feature inside of our app that I love because people are busy, right? And if they don't have time to call the studio, they can just hit that on the thing and send it to me. Anyway, this guy named Dylan had been dating this girl for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Keep that in mind.
Oh, I know this. Okay, what happened?
And over the weekend, he surprised her with a tattoo on her wrist of his name. 3 weeks into dating this girl. Yeah. And everybody was pretty much on the same page with this when they were like, run. But yeah, so people can submit it that way. They can call the studio, they can email, and every week's different. We have some people that have really sensitive stories. They don't want to be on, they don't want to be recognized. So we do the email route, but we'll do whatever. You can just reach out and we'll help you out.
My favorite of all time with you is the debate question. Can you pay with a coupon on a first date?
No. Especially during these times, right? And that's something a listener sent that to me and said, hey, will you ask this of your audience? I want to know, is it okay to use a gift card and or a coupon on a first date? And I was surprised because I was kind of on the same side as you. Absolutely not. But the majority of the people are like, the times we're living in and how expensive everything is, if nothing else, it shows me that they want to be frugal, which I think is a stark difference of what we would have heard maybe, I don't know, a decade ago. It was a big no-no.
Okay, how about this? Going into the date, you go, hey, I got some like big gift card through work. You want to use it with me? I think if you tell them ahead of time, maybe you got a shot. Right. I don't think you can do the buy one, get one free cheese dip, whatever it is. Like, I don't think that's going to work. Man, look, man pays for the first date. That's my rule.
Yeah.
I don't care. Man pays for the first one. Now,
in my case, it's always a man paying for the first one.
Okay. See, I was going to ask you that then. So what do you do in your situation? What happens?
I was always the one that wanted to, and it was just something that, I don't know what it is, but I was also open to the idea. I mean, if somebody else speaks up, and I know a lot of women that when they were single, they were like, no, I'm independent. I can take care of myself. I'm paying for my own dates.
I think what's died is I'll pick you up at your house and we'll go on the first date. That used to be a thing. No, you need an exit strategy at all times. That's what it needs to be.
All it takes is a couple Dateline episodes, and we're done with the pick me up at my house thing.
That's what it is. All right, here's the update with Hall of Famer Tony Zazza. Two things I want to go over with you real quick.
Yeah.
Number one, an update to Connor. I am still reading Beartown. I promised him I was at your house, and I looked him right in the eye. It's his favorite book. He told me he's read it like 3 or 4 times. Yep. He owns multiple copies. So I'm like, I will read this book. I promise. I am 200 pages in of a 300-page book. I am not the biggest fan of this book. I'm sorry to say this to Connor, but I will finish this book. I swear to God, I will do it for him.
Not a fan in the sense of the writing style or the story or how the story is unfolding. I don't want to give too much away, because if you're not familiar with Frederick Bachman, he's an incredible author, and Beartown is a great book. But like, which of those would put you in a world of, I'm not really into this?
No comments until I finish the book.
Okay.
And then we go on Connor's podcast where he breaks down book reviews on YouTube. We need to do it because so make sure this. You married him. Did you finish the book? This is very important. Did you do this?
Oh, yeah. Well, there are very few that I have. But and it's funny. We were just at a book event over the weekend with some of our friends, and one of them asked me, so how many books have you read this year? And I was like, I had 9. I read prep every day. I read articles every day, but I don't think I finished a book this year.
Well, you were at Free Comic Book Day, so do those count to the question?
Yes, absolutely, they count.
Yeah, graphic novel. Yeah, I'm working on multiple books right now, but I'll start reading another book, Tony, and I'm like, no, I got to finish Connor's book.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
I got to get to the finish line. All right, number 2, besides being a great broadcaster and friend, in your lifetime sports-wise, you have had 2 horrible, tragic events happen to you. Number 1, your San Diego Chargers left San Diego. This happened. That was earth-shattering to you, and I completely understand why. Earth-shattering. I remember you were on the air, and you're like, screw it. I'm rooting for the Patriots and Tom Brady now.
Yeah.
That?
And then I followed Brady wherever he went, because I'm like, I'm not dedicated to a team anymore, but this guy's the greatest of all time, so might as well follow him and win.
I know you love the Chargers because at your house you have like Chargers memorabilia.
It's all over this room. Yeah.
You love them. And I know you love Tony Gwynn and you love the Padres. That's your team. But you kind of said this a second ago. You had a second thing happen to you where your boy Luka got traded. Oh man. I know that must have been tough for you, buddy. Man.
Here's the deal. I met Mark Cuban when he first bought the team. In fact, I was at a party that he threw for a select number of people. And I was like, this is the guy. He was young. He had a ton of money. And he was like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to bring a championship to this team. And he delivered. And he always did. He always came big. And the one thing that I loved about how he managed, I knew people that worked with him and for him in the organization. And they were all like, this is the best gig ever. Even when he sold the majority, anytime he sells a business, he gives every single employee massive bonuses that he didn't have to do, but he does. And so for these owners to come in, and even though he's still a minority owner, these owners, they have an agenda. And it's not to deliver to the fans of Dallas. It's to deliver to their own pocketbooks. And sadly, you've got a guy who came in and replaced a megastar in Dirk Nowitzki. And it was like, well, Dirk's retiring. Now what? We find Luka. He's already one of the best in the league and on his way to being one of the greatest ever as long as he stays healthy. And they trade him? No offense to AD, but that's it? We're done here? Go Lakers. Go Lakers.
Well, and then the plot thickens. And I think this is going to turn into an ESPN 30 for 30 after a while, where you get the number 1 pick. What? And now you're going to get Cooper Flag. Are you going to root for Cooper Flag?
Here's the deal. Like, as a fan, right? So as a Padre fan and a Charger fan, when the Chargers did what they did and announced via Facebook, I'm out. I'm done supporting the owners, right? So with this same situation, I still like a lot of those Dallas Mavericks. There's some great talent on that team. And for them to get the number 1 pick, something seems a little bit shady to me. Call me crazy. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is just something doesn't add up in this at all.
It doesn't. You're absolutely right. All right, I'm with you. I blame ownership. They didn't want to pay Luka. I blame them. That's for the trade overall. I blame the GM because that's, like you said, that's all you got. Are you kidding me? You could have put it out there. You could have gotten 10 first-round picks for him. Oh, you could have gotten you could have gotten the King's ransom for him. What are you doing? That's what I don't understand. I don't get it. My favorite Mavericks team of all time is the team where it was young Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash, and Don Nelson was your coach. And I think you made, like, was it 03-04? Maybe you made the conference finals, lost to maybe I'm trying to think, Lakers or San Antonio, one of those teams. And dude, that team was awesome. And you had Michael Finley and Nick Van Exel. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I had, in college, because I had my hair really long, I had the Mavericks Steve Nash jersey, buddy. Nice. That's right. I did. I love that team. So before I let you go, how can we get more information on Zazza Show and Jingle Jet, buddy?
So real easy. You can just go to zazzanation.com. You can download the app there. You can find out everything we're doing there. It's free. So you can listen on the app. You can listen online. You can listen on Alexa. Jingle Jet's happening again this year. In fact, we have jams for Jingle Jet Summer Edition coming up on Friday, June 20th. We haven't been able to do this the last couple of years for obvious reasons, but we're bringing it back. It's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. And so we want to encourage as many people to tune in. And keep in mind, the app is global. And it's crazy when I tell people we've been listened to in 39 states and in 26 plus countries around the globe. It's so cool.
That is awesome, dude. That really is. Congratulations, Tony Zazza, and thanks for coming on today.
It's an honor. I appreciate it. And I'm so excited to be a part of this Hall of Fame class.